Lately, we haven't been doing as much. It hasn't been easy. We're ready to get back out there.
Living life a day at a time.
Toyo tires will be there,
Take a ride,
taking you where you want to go.
feeling free, happy and strong, on the road where we belong.
Toyo tires, making tires for your road.
On the road where we belong.
The Atlantic has been crossed, the bags are packed, and the safety net, that stayed in Canada. Welcome to the grand finale of the 2025-2026 Toyo Tires Formula 1600 Championship Winter Series, presented by BIS. We are live from the rolling hills of Kent in England at the Cathedral of European Speed. It's Brands Hatch. For 7 rounds, our drivers have fought across asphalt, across the world. They've managed the drop rule, calculated their risks, and played the long game. But today, the math is over. The drops are gone. Every wheel-to-wheel battle, every late-breaking dive, and every single championship point is now set in stone. This isn't just a race, it's a test of who has what it takes to come out on top. At Brands Hatch, the margins for error aren't thin, they're non-existent. One mistake at paddock hill bend doesn't just cost you a lap, it can cost you a lifetime of ambition. The engines are warm, the nerves are frayed, and by the end of this day, we will crown our 2026 champion. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, and welcome to Pit Road Productions. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today, the one and only Mr. Reese, the Southpaw Racer Gardner in the commentary booth, and at the production controls, the one and only Mr. Christian Hill.
It's a fantastic day to be a sim racing commentator, Zippy. The championship finale of a Formula 1600 series that has been insanely competitive over the course of this season. Final track of the season and final track read. Let's have a look at where we're at today. Welcome to the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. 2.4 miles of pure, unadulterated adrenaline. It starts with Paddock Hill Bend, a blind downhill plunge where you don't lift, you just breathe and pray. Then the climb to Druids, a tight hairpin where championships are often won or lost in a cloud of tyre smoke. Through Graham Hill Bend at turn 3, the car gets light as you fight physics to keep the rear planted. Then we head into the woods, the Grand Prix loop, Hawthorns, Westfield and Sheen Curve, turns 5 and 6. Fast, high-commitment sweeps where the trees blur into a wall of green at nearly 200 kilometers per hour. Finally, Stirling's at turn 8 and Clark Curve at turn 9 throw you back onto the Brabham Straight. 9 corners, relentless elevation, average speeds that make other tracks look like parking lots. This is Brands Hatch. Been through a few changes over the years, but still with the same basic layout. An incredible track, one of many that we have been to this season. Let's have a look at the schedule then. Starting off the season 7 rounds ago, we went to Road Atlanta. Silverstone played host to round 2. Phillip Island, Mexico City, Alton Park, Zandvoort, and Motorsport. You can see it's quite a mixture of victors over the course of the season here, Zippy. It just goes to show how competitive this championship has been.
Yeah, definitely. Even I managed to get a win in there. Don't ask me how we did that, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a good mix. Richard Swindell's able to get a couple in there as well. Definitely good to see him up on the podium, but indeed some familiar paces as well. Well, let's take a look here about how the event is going to go for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you're used to it. You know the formula, but we're going to remind you of it anyway. The drivers had an 80-minute practice available with 20 minutes of open qualifying. Basically, open means they can all share the track at the same time. Sprint race 1 will go live about 8:35 Eastern for about 15 minutes before sprint race 2 with a top 5 grid invert. We'll then have a 5-minute warm-up before going to the main feature race, another 15-minute race, but this time with a top 10 grid invert as well.
Yes, fixed setup. The only thing you can adjust in car is the brake bias, so every driver is driving effectively the exact same car. Let's check out the championship points while we still have time to look at them in the pro class. The math is simple, but the racing is getting complicated. Christian Moniz, driving for Brian Graham Racing, is the man with the target on his back. 349 points. He's been the rock of this series. Consistent, fast, and unshakable. He holds the high ground, but look at the rear view mirror. Clay Morris and the PRP Britannia machine has slashed the gap lap, just 17 points behind on 332. Asad Nakatembev third with 303 points. And here's the AM class, Zippy.
In the AM category, one man has separated himself from the pack. Alex McLean, the PRP Britannia ace, commands the standings with 363 points. He has built a fortress of points, leading by 40. He doesn't need to be a hero today, he just needs to keep it on the black stuff. But the war for second place is savage. Cedric O'Hyan, leader of Lima Racing, holds second with 323 points, and breathing down his neck is Richard Swindells, just 17 points back on 306. McLean might have a large lead, but with the pressure of the finale, there are still plenty of points up for grabs. The drop rule is dead. The finale at Brands Hatch is here, and this is for the championship.
Indeed, and in the team standings, PRP Britannia on top, 654 points. Lima Racing, 159 points further back for second. Rust Racing Iron, though, could catch them up and take that runner-up spot in the team's championship coming out of this round. I think we're going to be focusing largely on the fight for the Drivers' Championships, though, because, man, it is really tight up at the top. 25 points for a win per race in this championship, and there's extra points for pole, fastest lap, hard charger. So it's about time for us to get through to the grid. It's time to see.
Well, definitely looking forward to it. Indeed, this is a circuit I'd hope to drive myself. Certainly we're going to cover for Morgan Smith today, but on the front of the pack, ladies and gentlemen, PRP Britannia's very own. It's a 48 of Clay Morris alongside a recent winner in a real-life spec race support. Ladies and gentlemen, Asad Nakatembev, I hope I got that right this time, in second. Christian Muniz, he takes third with Alex McLean in fourth. Moving back to the third row in fifth, Michael Broomhead, BIS founder himself. Roger Seward takes sixth, and then moving on a little bit further back, we've got Lima Racing, ladies and gentlemen, seventh and eighth. It's John Bemberlin and Cedric O'Hyan. And then rounding out your top 10, Wyatt Cormier takes ninth with Graham Lobban in 10th.
In 11th place, it is Richard Swindells, our good friend. Nicholas Colander, another mate of us here at PRP, starting in 12th spot with Paul Casamajor and Brady Clapham rounding out the field. Only 14 cars here today. Only the drivers that have competed full-time for the championship allowed to start this final round. So let's get going, Zippy. I'm really happy to see some nice clear conditions out there as well. But we have been dealing with a drying track in practice and qualifying. So there's some puddles around the circuit the drivers need to look out for.
Yeah, that can definitely catch you unaware. Certainly I've had the pleasure of such experiences before. Actually, I think the last time I did race in the 1600 championship, I did indeed spin it out on the rain, but I can say this is one of the tracks, ladies and gentlemen, I've had the pleasure of going here in real life, and what is very much underestimated, certainly in the sim, turn one, that's about a 3-story drop.
Yeah, it's a huge drop indeed coming into the first corner at Paddock Hill, and that's what the track looks like ahead of them. It's a blind crest that you have to dip over on your way to the hairpin at Druids. Just a few seconds remain on the grid timer, and the revs are going to rise momentarily. The final round of the Toyo Tires F1600 Winter Series by BIS begins momentarily. Revs rise, clutches drop, and away we go. Nice start from our front row there. It looks like Nakatembev getting a slightly better run off the start than Morris did, but they are going to lead that way into turn one. Muniz making it up into third. Alex McLean falling to P5 as they go through the puddles through Paddock Hill. Overall, nice clean start here at the front, Zippy.
It's definitely a good way to start off the evening indeed for a good bit of racing indeed. As right now you see Clay Morris currently about 0.3 of a second ahead. A couple of battles have been happening there throughout the grid. Looks like Cedric O'Hyan getting into a little bit of action as well. You see another player puddle blast being kicked up there as well.
We're going to move off the Indy circuit now, which is typically the track that Formula Fords race at, and off into the forest, the Grand Prix loop added in the 1960s. And we've seen it be reprofiled a couple of times over the years, but this turn at Hawthorns has remained exactly the same. It's super fast, super tight on the exit as well. Not much curb to make room for on the outside. It looks like our top three starting to break away already, but they need to be careful not to move into those puddles too much. It seems like Morris ran a little bit too far into it, and that's given Nakatembev a slight run.
Yeah, it looks like Alex McLean is able to find himself past Michael Broomhead as well. He's just seen Broomhead going wide and then able to make himself go a little bit higher up there. Cedric O'Hyan just falling back a couple of spots as well. I have to wonder what's going on with him there. He started, I believe, in P7, going off memory. Indeed, as right now, though, let's go shout out to 77. Brady Clapham, by some miraculous method, he's up 6 positions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's a solid run there from Clapham, and it's a solid run from Nicardenbev, who takes the lead from Clay Morris round the outside of Paddock Hill. Excellent job from Nicardenbev, and we'll find our way through to the fight back from Morris. That was a big dive there. Of course, it's our championship top 3 in the top 3, so every single move they make here is going to be crucial.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I love most about that is the fact we don't have a dry track, we don't have a wet track, we have something that is pretty much floating in the middle, as is a couple of those puddles there. Certainly a little bit of surprise maybe for some of these drivers. It could cause some very interesting racing scenarios.
Looks like Christian Muniz is just biding his time here. He knows with now just a championship lead of 16 points after Morris took the single point for pole position, he needs to be careful about how he goes about this. It's going to be a 10-lap race for all 3 races tonight, so there's still plenty of time to get it done there. Once again, the puddle catching Morris out, Nicardenbev back to the lead.
Yeah, certainly, it definitely gets a little bit more challenging here. Certainly, how are you going to plan your race strategies? That's Alex McLean. He's going to take it to the grass, ladies and gentlemen. And Michael Broomhead finds himself going yet again back. Well, they swap positions back, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, but I've got to say, Brady Clapham, he's still up 6 positions, but I do have to wonder, can he find a few more?
And that is the question. Broomhead now up 1 spot from where he started, as Muniz gets into the slipstream of Clay Morris here to start lap 3. He's not going to go for it at Paddock Hill Bend. Nicardenbev with the quickest lap so far. No, not quite. Roger Sieber has taken it just now. So that may be another point taken away from our championship leaders if none of them can get the fastest lap. Oh, yeah, just as I say it, Roger Sieber's gotten into the wall coming out of Paddock Hill. I think he's out.
Yeah, it's definitely not the fastest line through Paddock Hill, certainly, but you can see here from Christian Muniz a little bit of spray being kicked up by Clay Morris. And certainly, I do have to wonder what the strategy would be here, because don't get me wrong, some tracks we go to, a little bit of a correction there by the 295 car as it goes through the puddle, but some tracks in particular, you do have to find that there is definitely a strategic place to make the pass. And here at Brands Hatch, I've not yet decided what that would actually be. Certainly, you've got a good couple of long straightaways, but with the start-finish being so long, you do have to wonder if you really want to hold off to the very end.
Yeah, I know I would. Pick up the slipstream out of Sterling's and go for the move into Clark is probably the way that I would go about it. But as we've seen, the small amount of moisture on the track has complicated things slightly. Our top 3 are going to stay in line as they come out of the Grand Prix loop, and they'll continue their fight. They absolutely caning everyone else on pace at the moment. It's a true breakaway, these 3, and then it's Broomhead, Benvalid and McLean battling over 4th place for the time being. Another 3-car pack for 7th, Clapham, Cormier and O'Hyan. Morris losing a bit of time to Nicardenbev down the start-finish straight. Have to wait and see if this is where Muniz makes his move.
It's certainly Muniz, definitely no slouch there. As you see, it's hard Nicardenbev, he sent it to me on Discord, and we've got to give him a little bit of stick for this. So we've been commentating on this guy for at least 2 years now, if not a bit longer. And I've been saying his name wrong the whole time, and he has never corrected me. So 100%, Assad, I'm calling you out on that on this broadcast.
Nicardenbev, I think, might be how it's actually pronounced. Yes, but I don't know. Nicardenbev has a nice roll to it, but we'll wait and see if that too is incorrect. For now, our leaders getting ever closer here, but Assad keeping out of making the move. Once again, this is some smart racing from our top 3.
It definitely is. I've actually got the voice clip. I'm going to play it in my ear in a minute just so I can hear how to say his name correctly. It's come with that, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? It's the final round as well. And fair play to him. You know what? He's given us 2 years to learn a bad habit. That's on him, 100%. But right now, you can see a couple of drivers. They've got some good habits going. Indeed, Clay Morris currently leading the front of this pack. Assad right behind him. I'm not saying his last name now. Screw it. I'm over it. With Christian Muniz there in 3rd.
Indeed. Clay, Assad and Christian. It's been some lovely consistent races from all of them, but most of all Christian Muniz. He's been in the top 3, fighting for the top 3 in just about every single race this season, and I think has the most wins to his name too. Slightly wide through Paddock Hill Bend. They just avoid the puddle on the exit, and now Muniz is going to make the move on Assad coming into turn 2. That was a nice move. Almost got into Morris, but now it looks like our championship leader is making his charge.
Nikardin Bayev, ladies and gentlemen, that is the correct pronunciation. I just checked the voice clip. We've been informed, and I've got to say Nikardin Bayev is incredibly close here to the back of Muniz. I thought for a second there there's going to do a little bit of bump drafting, maybe a little bit of contact there. Certainly it's not something I would suggest here with such a slippery surface. The level of grip here, and certainly the 1600, you can throw it around a lot, but indeed, I have a feeling he may indeed be bump drafting there. He's certainly close enough for a second.
Yeah, he was right up the gearbox of Christian Muniz there. But it's not going to give him the move. Coming into Hawthorns, these long sweeping turns up the back of the circuit are very difficult to make passes into, especially when the edges of the track are still sopping wet. So keeping yourself within your limits and making sure that you can make the move in the more sort of open part of the circuit down where the Indy circuit is probably the way to go here.
So not only that, we've got multiple battles happening through this race as well. Looks like Nicholas Collender and Graham Lovin are having a battle there, going back there in P11. But this is the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Christian. As you see here, Michael Bremed currently going toe-to-toe here with the one-line Mr. John Beverly, the Lima racing machine himself. Alex McLean getting into the mix as well. Certainly, you know, McLean's just got to make sure he keeps the car clean. And not only that, he's representing PRP Britannia, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we're going to cheer for him there. But right now, you can see Mike Bremed certainly making way for it, as is John Beverly. Oh, dear. The ballerina is back.
Certainly is. Got the rear end loose coming through Paddock Hill, and that is unfortunately going to cost him quite a few spots. Down to 8th now. Not ideal for our league administrator, but Benvalit and McLean have managed to get away from it, and it looks like Clapham has joined them in the battle there. Another view of what happened to Michael Broomhead. I wonder if there was some slight contact between himself and Benvalit on the way to the corner there. It looked sort of touch and go for me, but it is very easy to lose the rear end in these cars, to be fair.
Yeah, I had a feeling there's maybe a little bit of net code there as well. But certainly, not only are you going down several stories, it is indeed a cambered corner as well. So that certainly you can feel a little bit of a distance there. And in a slightly damp track, definitely if you are off the normal line, you're going to find it's a little bit more slippery, and indeed it doesn't take much to spin the car around. Certainly one of the things I actually really like about the 1600 is that it is a little bit unstable, it's a little bit twitchy, and certainly, I mean, even watching like the clips of them driving like on YouTube and stuff like that, the real cars, like, and certainly come out and see them. They'll be at Victoria Day Speed Fest at Motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, come out and see them. I'm definitely going to be there as well. Certainly I've got to book my flight and do that. If anybody knows about doing that efficiently, by all means let me know, because I'm not experienced. But certainly we're going to put that on hold right now. As you see there, Christian Muniz is very much under pressure here, as he's kind of taken the lead from Clay Morris.
Yeah, he picked up the slipstream coming out of Clark, and then Nikardin Bayev managed to give him a little push. But Assad still keeping the fastest lap here. Morris trying to cut back on Christian Muniz. What does Nikardin Bayev do? Let's see. Into Graham Hill, run out over the curb, and it looks like a little bit more momentum for Clay Morris, but Assad still has a chance to move up the inside later on in the lap. So our championship leader is now to the lead of the race. That's the best case scenario for Christian at the moment.
Yeah, certainly he's got a good run in it. And one thing I have picked up is a top 5 invert for this race, remember. So right now, Alex McLean would actually start on pole here. It's Clay Morris and indeed Assad Nikardin Bayev move their way. It's just, Assad, you've broken me. Move the way to the top 2.
That they do. So now, whoa, hello. Catching the puddle once again. It looks like Assad had a bit of trouble making his car straight again. We'll have to wait and see how that one works out. The pass is on for 4th as well. Alex McLean has made its way past John Benvalit, and oh my goodness, it looks like Cedric O'Hyan came absolutely flinging in and has hit Benvalit off the circuit.
Uh-oh, friendly fire in the Lima Racing circuit, the Lima Racing team, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, definitely not how they had that going to plan, but these guys are definitely just brush it off and indeed laugh about it after the race. I have to take a quick look at the replay, though.
Yes, indeed we will. Let's see then. So Benvelit was up the inside there, ran wide, got onto the puddle and then ran onto the grass, and Clapham got alongside him, as did McLean, but then O'Hyan, it seems like he just missed the breaking point, just went straight into the number 8.
Yeah, certainly one Lima car is good, 2 Lima cars are better, but 3 Lima cars obviously didn't work.
No, certainly not. This is the onboard view here from Cedric, seeing half a chance to gain a spot, but potentially a bit misleading, the breaking point in here. Yeah, that was not ideal.
Yeah, I think he saw an opportunity and the gap was just closing ever faster and he wasn't quite ready for it when he got there. Fair play to him, but indeed, that car does appear to be having a little bit of damage there on the left side.
I'm wondering if Netcode may have been involved in that too. There's potential that Benvelit was having a technical problem and O'Hyan couldn't actually see where he was going. The battle's continuing here between Clapham and McLean. Very nice switchback indeed from the 77. And, well, we'll keep an eye on that battle for sure, see how it works out. It's going to be 2 laps to go when our leaders cross the line next. And for the moment, it is still Asad Nikadabayev in front with Christian Muniz and Clay Morris in very close tow. Not the longest circuit on the planet, Brands Hatch. 3.7 kilometers. It's a fair 95 seconds or so usually in these cars, but have a look at that. Clay Morris has just taken the fastest lap point away. There needs to be a response from Assad and Christian.
Yeah, certainly with this being no drop rounds and there's been so much available, it's going to be an incredibly close battle as well. And then not only that, we've got 3 races happening today, so it really is. It's not just a case of just go out there, do your best, do one, and you got it in the bag. You've really got to be consistent throughout the evening, or indeed the morning, or indeed the afternoon, wherever you may be, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, the biggest one I'm keeping an eye on right now is McLean. He has got the most at stake here in the AM Class Championship.
Yep, certainly does. But I think McLean is doing all right at the moment. Remember, he has a lead of 40 points in the AM Championship coming into this round as Muniz gets Nikadambayev back into Hawthorne. Could there be a switchback from young Assad? Not quite, not enough room. McLean, Clapham and O'Hyan all battling still for 4th. Clapham and McLean and O'Hyan are both in the AM class, but as I said, McLean 40 points ahead in the championship. He doesn't need to worry too much. All he has to do is finish ahead of every other AM car, and he'll be all right. And for the moment, it looks like O'Hyan's giving him a bit of trouble, but I don't think that's going to play too much on McLean's mind with the points advantage he has. White flag is out. We have it's Paul Casamajor off in the grass out of Clark, and the final lap of race 1 begins.
Yeah, I've got the feeling this is where we're going to find out if there was indeed some strategy going into it. Certainly, with it being such a short race, as well, it's hard to plan strategy. You see there the puddle getting up a little bit more spray there. Indeed, it looks like Clay Morris trying to find his way to the inside of Druids.
Good side by side. Sometimes the outside line is good. It'll allow you to fling your way up the inside of Graham Hill. But has Assad gone too deep? Ends up catching a little bit of the grass, but he somehow managed to stay ahead. Now the slipstream will kick in coming onto the Grand Prix loop, and this is where we're going to see some real dicing, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, even if you take the inside, you got 2 right-handers, I think that would be the way I'd play it, but certainly just how tight you want to squeeze. There you go, Assad doing exactly that. He's had the inside, Christian Muniz, he's got the slipstream, he's got a bit of a run, and he's going to have the nicer line here as they make their way around the first right-hander. Indeed, almost 3 wheels in a row there. Christian Muniz flirting with the grass, and it looks like he's been able to get ahead almost of Assad and Nikadambayev, but indeed, Clay Morris coming up on the inside now, because this is a backfired for the real Formula 1600 championship driver.
Yeah, let's see then as they make their way through the diving corners here. Defensive from Morris and Nikadabayev, and Muniz is going to pick up the slipstream now, coming down the final straight to Clark. They're almost 3 wide on the way in. Muniz has to back out of it, but he's going to cut to the inside. That's a perfect move from the championship leader. He's going to get in front on the run to the start-finish line. What a finish. 3 wide across the line. Muniz is going to win it. My goodness.
Whoa, 1,000th of a second between Morris and Nikadambayev.
That's incredible. Incredible stuff.
That's a replay from several angles. We're going to watch that, enjoy it. Paul Casamay just got a black flag, by the way, just to let you know. But yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a review of that. Certainly, it looks like Brady Clapham, Cedric O'Hayan, and Alex McLean came across the line as well. Pretty close between O'Hayan and McLean. Let's take a look here. I want to see the replay of that final battle. That was incredible.
As we see Graham Lobban and Nicholas Colander fighting their way across the line. Touch and go whether we'll actually get an opportunity to look at that replay, because the session will tick over in just a few seconds to race 2, so maybe we'd have to leave it for the warm-up, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. For now, though, the results, we'll see Christian Muniz, our championship leader, take victory. But I'll have to do some more championship math, because there's actually a point you get for leading a lap as well. That's going to complicate things too. Asad Nakarambayev getting on to second place, with Christian Muniz rounding out the podium. Clapham and O'Hayan round out the top 5, flip them, and that's going to be your top 5 for race 2. McLean finishes in 6th and 2nd in the AM class, with Michael Broomhead in 7th, and Cormier, Swindles and Lobban rounding out the top 10.
P11 was Nicholas Colander, with Paul Casamajor in 12th, picking up that black flag at the end. John Bembley definitely having a little bit of an unfortunate incident there. Some friendly fire with the Lima Racing comrades of Cedric O'Hayan. Roger Sieber, not quite sure, we didn't quite see what happened to him, but fair to say, not the race he was looking for in the 183.
No, certainly not. And now it's time for our start for race 2, and it's going to be Cedric O'Hayan on pole position. Zippy, this is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly, it's almost a little bit intimidating to be on pole position, but certainly, I have a feeling Brady Clapham is going to take this absolutely run with it. But indeed, can he keep behind him the championship leaders, the likes of Muniz, Nikardan Bayev, and indeed Clay Morris are going to be all looking at something to prove and try and get a couple of more points. Can McLean try and score a few more points as well? Certainly a good last finish, but is it going to be enough for the AM Class Championship?
Well, we are away, and Cedric O'Hayan gets a really good start there. That's actually quite good indeed, but Christian Muniz is going to get right on it here, along with Asad Nakarambayev, who gets up the inside of Brady Clapham on the run out of Paddock Hill. Muniz to the inside of Druids is going to move straight to the lead of the race. He's executing this perfectly right now.
Yeah, you'll see almost a little bit of wheel banging there between O'Hayan and indeed Nikardan Bayev, and so you see a little bit of spray being kicked up as well. Broomhead there in the background, McLean right behind him, and indeed Christian Muniz able to capitalise almost free wide there to make the way around the left-hander.
Indeed, here we go. Side by side, and Clay Morris and Cedric O'Hayan will exchange spots, and now our championship top 3 are back in the top 3. Zippy, they wasted no time getting back up to those positions.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, that was quicker than I had a feeling they'd do it, but I didn't think it'd be quite that quick. Certainly the draft here in the 1600 is something to be noted, but I wouldn't have thought it was that powerful, and indeed the pace difference is, oh dear, that's a tank cycle for Broomhead, and indeed he's able to keep it. Oh, okay. That got worse. That was Wyatt Cormier.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Looks like Cormier actually got flung out of the limits of the digital world that we're in. He got teleported back to the pits.
Okay, I am down for a replay of that. That seemed entertaining but catastrophic at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Not ideal. We'll see in just a few short moments. Meanwhile, Morris makes his way past Nakarambayev, and the exchange will keep going for second overall. McLean is now right amongst Clapham and O'Hayan, and looks like McLean leading the AM class now, so he's keeping his championship lead alive in his class. But man, what an incident we saw there on lap 1.
Yeah, it's just another beautiful disaster, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the replay.
All right, so in the midst of the Grand Prix loop, Broomhead caught the puddle, I reckon. Big snap indeed, and well-timed on the slow-mo, Christian. Catches the end of the Armco barrier, and he's on the brakes, but there's not much he can do to arrest his momentum. There goes Cormier. And unfortunately, Graham Lobban gets involved as well.
Here we can see it from Wyatt Cormier's point of view. He goes to try and dodge Broomhead. Yeah, I thought he got flung as well. reset to the bits.
Yep. Indeed. Well, yeah, goodness me. Looks like, yeah, okay, so there we go. That's unfortunately going to result in meatball flags for all three of those drivers, but Broomhead has managed to get back out on track. In the meantime, Clay Morris and Asad Nikadabayev battling over the lead here. Christian Muniz, nowhere to be seen. He's somehow fallen back to 5th. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there, but it's between these two now, and they realise with the championship gap narrowing further and further, they both have a chance to take it.
It certainly is going to be an incredibly close battle. I'm not sure what happened to Muniz either. Certainly he was up there. I'm checking my event log and I've got nothing on it regarding him, but certainly just him making passes, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly you got to wonder. Oh, there was something lap 2 actually. Something on lap 2 for Christian Muniz there.
Okay, so he might have been involved in an incident that we unfortunately did not catch. What this has meant though is with Nikadabayev and Morris battling for the lead, Clapham and McLean have really caught them up. Here's what happened to our championship leader coming into this round. Looks like it might have happened coming onto the Grand Prix loop. Little bit of water off the racing line there. Looks like the car got a bit too slippery for Muniz's liking, and that was very lucky. Almost got cleaned up by Clapham.
Yeah, definitely a good bit of car control as well. He did keep it out of the wall, fair play. Almost stayed the car, but still, I'm going to give credit where I do. That took a lot of control and a lot of experience to be able to hold on to that. But right now, Alex McLean getting into a battle yet again here. This time with Brady Clapham as he's looking to try and make his way onto the outright podium.
All right, here we go. And this is a nice run out of the final corner for McLean. And he'll take 3rd place overall back from Brady Clapham. Gently does it into turn 1. You need to be very careful indeed. Why is that camera angle there? Oh dear. Michael Broomhead did make us a custom camera pack for this round, but evidently might have needed a bit more beta testing in that particular location. Regardless, Clapham is fighting back on Alex McLean here, but that's a big slide, and Christian Muniz is right on them.
Yeah, he's certainly applying the pressure. Indeed, that may be the inside the commentator's mind camera. Certainly a little bit of fog, mist, and indeed a lot of empty space.
Head empty, no thoughts.
Yeah, you see there McLean running a little bit wide, but don't get me wrong, he's looking pretty good right now. He's still got John Memberley behind by about 2 seconds, and indeed another 3 seconds to Richard Swindells.
Yes, indeed. So now, running through the Grand Prix loop, Alex McLean sees an opportunity here to get back past Clapham and Muniz as long as they get out of that corner cleanly. Once again, it's the puddle of death that almost changes the face of the battle.
Yeah, definitely. I've come across to a few puddles, and while it's fun to jump in them, it's not nice to send a race car through them. Certainly, you can find that water does not compress, and should you go up over it, all of a sudden you can find you go from no grip to, well, no grip, I guess.
Indeed. Well, it looks like Muniz has recovered okay and managed to get back into the lead of this battle, back up to 3rd place as Clay Morris brings the fastest lap down to a 1:32.9, and the pace is continuing to drop down at the front. We'll see if Muniz can try and claw that back. You know, with Morris and Nikadabayev trading spots as they are, every time one of them crosses the line in the lead, they get a point, and they'll also, either of them, get a point for fastest lap too. So Muniz's championship lead is actually reducing in real time at the moment.
It's definitely a tough position to be in. Certainly we saw him get a little bit of that tank slapper going. Indeed, it was a good recovery, and he has managed to make his way back up to 3rd. But as you said, though, he's currently not getting the chance to get them extra points that he might need here. This is going to be absolutely crucial as Nikadabayev and indeed Clay Morris go side by side and switch it over yet again.
Indeed they do. So here they come into the Grand Prix loop. You see how they're avoiding that puddle? They are staying well clear of it, and that is the main reason why their pace is as good as it is. They need to be careful over the curbs, though. It seems like the water from practice and qualifying is hanging around there. Muniz starting to jet away from Clapham and McLean, but his pace is not quite enough to catch up to Nikadabayev and Morris at this point. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, certainly he's about 6/10 of a second behind. Indeed, it could be with a little bit of traffic. Certainly Brady Clapham has definitely tried to apply a bit of pressure here, as Alex McLean's going to try and do the same thing. He's going to have to go around the outside on turn 1.
Okay, here we go. Whoa. All right, closely through the turn, and we'll see what we can do to sort out some clean passes here through Druids. That's very wide for Clapham, but he holds on to the pace around the outside. Very nice to see.
There's only another thing to think about as well is the rain line, and myself not too familiar with that. I would certainly imagine you just want to try and keep the steering wheel as straight as you possibly can, and indeed, you know, if you've got to sacrifice speed, sacrifice it in one hit and then try and build momentum back up again. Certainly there is a huge part of momentum racing with these cars, but certainly we are seeing a couple of people taking a few scenic detours indeed, but currently I'd say the race is pretty clean so far.
Indeed. So here we are then with our leaders running low 133s, thereabouts at their best pace. Christian Muniz has yet to break below the 133.5s, so we'll see what they can do to hold on to this gap. It's continuing to extend about 3 seconds back to Muniz at the moment, so we'll be seeing what he can do in these last 4 laps. He's going to need to gain a second on them every lap in order to get back to the lead. I don't think it's possible at this point.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to need these two guys to come together, and certainly Nikardin Bayev and indeed Clay Morris, both of them seasoned professionals indeed. Nikardin Bayev by iRacing 2293. It's fair to say that that is due an update, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly he is definitely a lot more potent than that. And not only that, a real-life racing driver now as well, currently out there at Buttonwillow over the weekend in the Spec Racer Ford. Went on against some existing champions and indeed managed to get a race win, ladies and gentlemen, over in Buttonwillow.
Yeah, very nicely done indeed. So here we go on the way into the Grand Prix loop again. It's all important, the exit from this left-hander. Nikardin Bev for the moment seems to have a sizable lead over Morris. It doesn't look like Morris is going to be catching him up anytime soon, at least on this lap. Maybe he's biding his time for a move.
Yeah, certainly we've seen the strategy, but with the start finish line being placed just as it is, I mean, 1,000th of a second, ladies and gentlemen, that is incredibly close. It doesn't really get any closer than that. I do have to wonder, you know, is there a better way of doing it to try and make sure that you're ahead at the finish line, or indeed you just got to get a better run? It looks like Cedric O'Hines just made his way past Richard Swindells for P7.
Good pass. Swindells is going to get him back, though. There's a little bit of trading going on there for those minor positions as we keep an eye on our leaders. 3 laps to go. And looks like Nikardin Bev was able to get into the 132s again on the previous lap. Does he go any faster this time? Oh, it's Morris that goes faster this time, down to a 132.8. That's a new fastest lap for Morris.
It's certainly some incredible pace here, and the draft is definitely going to help. More battles happening throughout there. Brady Clapham currently out of tango there with Alex McLean there for P4, and indeed looks like Roger Sieber now getting into the action as well with Nicholas Collins.
Yes, yet more action to be going on all throughout this field, but the big question is, can Clay Morris get back up alongside Assad here? He's playing with the rear end on the way through these corners, and now he picks up the slipstream. This could be the move that he needs, but no, it's too early. Morris gets back in line. I think that's a very smart move.
Yeah, certainly I would, honestly, in this scenario, I think I would want to be floating behind and indeed applying the pressure, especially where there's a little bit of a damp surface on the track. I would want to be trying to basically distract the opponent ahead. Indeed, I think it's been beneficial there. Look at the run now Clay Morris has got against Nikardin Bev, but is he going to be able to capitalize on it? Indeed, these guys run any wider, they're going to dip a wheel in that grass and find the car very quickly over-rotating, as that's exactly the opposite of what just happened. Nikardin Bev get a little bit of understeer here. Clay Morris sees the opportunity and is trying to run away with it as he makes his way around the final turn on the inside.
Yeah, good job there from Clay Morris. Took advantage of the mistake from Nikardin Bayev, and now the fight back will begin for Assad. Championship lead in his sights here. It's going to be another lap led for Clay Morris. So that's 8 laps complete now. We've had 3 laps of this race led so far by Morris, 5 for Nakatambayev, and 1 lap led for Christian Muniz. At the moment, Muniz is just not getting the points he needs to hold on to this championship lead. I think race 3 is going to be the most crucial of them all.
It's not like he's bleeding, but he's certainly hemorrhaging points at this point, but at least he is in some clean air. Michael Broomhead, though, having to pick up a black flag and then appears to have had an incident as well, so we'd have to wonder what's going on with the 00 car. Certainly, he's actually a previous winner of the Formula 1600 Championship as well, and I believe he got a copy of the motor racing checklist by our very own favourite. Indeed, if you want to go faster, ladies and gentlemen, Almeida Academy is the way to do it. $25 a month. We broadcast their show as well here on Pit Road Productions at Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern, and currently this season they're doing the Spec Racer Ford.
Yes, and Asad Nakatambayev now has some real-world experience in a Spec Racer Ford himself. It's a nice little confluence there, really drawing close to the edge of the track there. I thought for a second Asad was going to dip a wheel off into the grass, but he's kept the momentum up nicely. Depending on how the exit of Clark goes, I think this might be another point in Morris's hands here as the final lap begins.
Indeed, it's going to all come down to this for the second race, and certainly, I don't know who would put the money on this one. Realistically, it's a pretty dead even heat, really. You know, Clay Morris, Asad Nakatambayev, both of them very competent, not just as drivers, but here in BIS, and we're used to seeing them at the front of the field, but put the two of them against each other, it really could go either way. The biggest thing I hope for is a clean finish for the second race.
Yeah, certainly hope that that's the case, and I'm sure Clay and Asad will be hoping for the same. If they get into each other, then Muniz is just going to pick up the pieces and get points. So we'll see what we can do. Coming onto the Grand Prix loop, slightly wider exit here from Morris, but Asad is right there with him, and once again the slipstream beckons. But do you want to make the move at this part of the circuit?
Oh, a late defense there by Clay Morris. He's very much aware that Nakatambayev is indeed right behind him. I have to wonder, you know, when is the opportune time to do it? Like, certainly we've seen it go down to the line. I have a feeling it's going to be very much the same here, as that's exactly what happened to Nakatambayev before. He ran a little bit wide there, did Morris. Indeed, Asad able to make a move up on the inside. Gets it done this time. That could be crucial, but I do have to wonder if it was the right strategy. Morris fights back.
Here we go then. Nice run out of the final turn, out of Sterling, sorry, for Asad here. Could do a cutback, but he's gone around the outside. Oh. And, well, he turned in a bit too much. Morris did nothing wrong there, I think. He was as far to the inside as he could be. And Clay Morris is going to take victory in race number 2. Nakatambayev down to 5th place as a result of that, and Muniz up to 2nd. That changes the face of the championship all over again.
Yeah, that could have been a very crucial mistake. We'll take a look at the replay in just a few short moments. Right now, you see Nicholas Collender currently applying a good amount of pressure here to Roger Sieber. Now, don't get me wrong, Sieber, incredibly potent we've seen when he comes out in the Formula 1600, but he's not been present to every event as of late. But right now, Collender certainly not letting that stop him. He's applied a good, healthy amount of pressure. Is he going to get it done before the start-finish line? It's going to be incredibly close. I swore I saw 1,000th of a second again. 5,000ths of a second. Collender able to just get the edge there and take P9.
Wow, excellent job from Collender and Sieber there. And that is going to round things off for the second race. Just got Paul Casamager yet to come across the line. Meanwhile, replay of the final corner move here. Nakatambayev trying to go around the outside, but again, yeah, I think he probably would have been better served backing out and trying to go for the over-under. There really was not much Morris could do about this. He was as far to the inside as he could possibly go.
Certainly, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. It was close. I mean, I get it. It's close racing. And certainly, if anything, I feel relieved that, you know, it was a self-induced error. And certainly, Asad's going to, you know, he's going to look at that. He'll review it. And indeed, you know, he will learn from that. But you know, it's a little bit of a shame for him because certainly that's a huge points that he's just lost.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Yeah, we'll unfortunately, hang on a minute. Here we go. We're going to see what happened to Moniz here to put him back to 5th place earlier on in the race. So he was right with Nikitabayev and Morris. Oh no, this is the race 1 finish. Sorry. Another view of how Moniz got it. Just perfectly timed, Zippy. He saw the opportunity. The door opened to the inside. And I think Nikitabayev and Morris were a bit too involved with each other to realize he was coming through.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That may come into mind, but I do have to wonder, there you go, that'd be a nice camera to have. A literally finish line looking down on it. Indeed, that was incredible. So sheer millimeters in the difference.
Indeed. Well, as we'll go to our results quickly before we head to our break, it will be Morris taking victory from Christian Moniz, with Brady Clapham and Alex McLean rounding out your top 4 there. McLean taking another win in the AM class there, with Asad Nikitabayev rounding out the top 5, with John Benvalid, Richard Swindell, Cedric O'Hyan, Nicholas Colander and Roger Sieber rounding out your field. Again, only 5 thousandths between Colander and Sieber.
Take a look at P11 was Paul Casamajor for Lima Racing rookie, with Michael Broomhead having that rather spectacular incident he took in 12. Wyatt Cormier took 13, with Graham Loveland sadly there back in 14. Definitely a smaller grid than I would have liked. I definitely would have liked to add 1 car to it. Indeed, I think it could have been quite potent here at Brands Hatch. Not my home track, but certainly close enough indeed. But it is the year. Well, we're coming to the end of the season as well. Certainly next year, I have a feeling this is going to be even busier as well. And a huge thanks to Britain West Motorsport as well for making this opportunity occur to these drivers as well. Certainly, there's not too many people who are going to hand over the opportunity for people to drive a real race car. But I can tell you, we have some fresh information, and it would be good to get them in the booth if we've got time. We've got about 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if Alex McLean joins us, because he has been officially crowned the AM class champion with that win. Zippy's going to run around and see if he can corral McLean a little bit, but I'll give you some championship maths here. So taking the results completely out of contention, it looks like the championship gap was narrowed to 10 points for Christian Moniz based on laps led and pole points and fastest lap points. So just add the wins into that. I'll do a bit more math once Zippy's done with our newly crowned AM champion.
Well, Alex, driver up to the number 69 indeed, representing PRP Britannia. How do you feel right now?
I don't know what to say, man. I think I've come a long way since the first season I was in. I think looking back at that season, it's been so fun. It's been amazing. Like everything, broadcasts have been amazing. All the races, the racing has been amazing. And I'm ecstatic. Like at this point, it's all down to points now. So I think it's been secured. So.
Yeah, we can tell you, you have won the AM Class Championship. You can celebrate at this point. It's okay. It's confirmed. Okay. Let it out. All right. Let it out, my friend. Let it out.
Let's go.
There we go.
I gotta be honest, that was definitely not the sound effect I was expecting. Indeed, I thought he was going to break out and start singing Frozen. Let it go. Indeed, a little bit of Elsa there.
Let it go. But, let it go.
There we go. That's there you go. That's something I can relate to. Certainly, Alex, it's been a challenging season. Certainly a little bit of a roller coaster as well. But definitely, it's going to be good to see you behind the wheel of a wheel car. And indeed, not many sim racers get this opportunity. So certainly, take this moment. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out as well?
I'd like to, thank my parents for always being there for me. I'd definitely say everyone on the Pit Road production team for hosting absolutely amazing broadcasts. Like, I cannot believe the quality. Every broadcast gets better and better and better. Like, it's amazing. Like, I've been in other sim racing leagues, and the broadcasts there are absolutely subpar. Like, the Pit Road production has set a new bar for me, and it's been on point every broadcast. So, and also Mike for organizing the whole thing. It's been amazing. It's been really fun. Say thank you all.
Well, I have a feeling he's definitely finding it hard to find all of the words, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, we do appreciate the ones he was able to spell. Certainly, to some people, a lottery win is indeed the jackpot, but Reese Gardner, the lottery is the jackpot. But I gotta say, it's definitely not too often. You can't rehearse for such a thing, and if you do, you're probably going to make a chalk and cheese bit anyway. But certainly, Alex, we're going to let you get back settled in for this final race. Indeed, with the pressure gone, I'm looking to see some spicy moves from yourself.
Okay, we'll see. I'll keep it clean, though. I'll keep it clean.
Attaboy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Indeed, the chat's going berserk right now as well. We're going to catch up with that in a minute. For Alex McLean, driver to 69 for PRP Britannia.
Excellent stuff. Of course, he'll be getting a test day in a real-world F1600 car provided by Britain West Motorsports. And the prize is still up for grabs for the Pro Championship as well. I've worked out the math. So here's how things stand coming into this final race. We had Morris leading 2 laps in race 1 and 5 laps in race 2. Christian Muniz led 3 laps in race 1. Nikatambayev certainly was able to get a little bit closer, but I think the 5th place in race 2 is going to put him out of contention. With Morris winning both races so far, Muniz finishing 2nd in both races so far, my rough math works out to Christian Muniz is in the championship lead by just 4 points coming into this final race, Zippy.
That's tight. That is too tight. And indeed, to see Asad Nikatambayev there in the chat, may have been a mistake in the last session. May have been an incident last session. I'm like, yes, sir, there was. Oh, dear. This is going to be tight. This is going to be really tight. And I don't have a favorite in this group. They're all good guys. And you know what? That's a beautiful scenario to be in. Certainly, it's better than... Like, if you think of politics, for example, you pick the one which is least worst. These guys, they're all fantastic. And it's been a privilege here having them on Pit Road Productions. But certainly, I got a feeling, you know, Muniz's strategy, he's been the man to beat, but I can't pick a horse in this race.
Yeah, I can't either. Let's quickly go through the grid. Inverted top 10. It's Sieber on pole, Colander in 2nd, Ohayon and Swindells on row number 2, Benvalid and Nikatambayev row 3, McLean and Clapham row 4, and then Muniz and Morris starting 9th and 10th. And from there on, it's where they finished in race 1. The revs are about to rise, and we're about to get going for the final race of the championship here in the Toyo Tires F1600 Winter Series Championship. And away we go. Sieber with a fantastic start off the pole here. Nicholas Colander is going to get swamped a little by Cedric Ohayon coming into the first corner. And we'll see Richard Swindells going a little bit wide as well. Looks like he'll give up the position to Benvalid. Our championship top 3 struggling to make their way forward.
It certainly, they did it incredibly quick last time around, but certainly I think Nikatambayev is going to have the most to prove here. Currently, he is leading that pack. Claymore is getting a little bit caught up here with Brady Clapham as well. As that's a detour. Benvalid taking the scenery, as is Alex McLean as well. Don't get wrong, he can do a parade lap at this point, but don't get wrong, I don't know if I have the confidence to do 12 with them, but fair play. As you see, a slide there from Ohayon, he's kept hold of it, and indeed, Nicholas Colander, he's been absolutely fantastic in the 1600, only needed the 1200s as well, but can he transfer these skills over to Brands Hatch?
That is the question. We'll see. Oh, have a look at that from Muniz and Nikatambayev trying to get up the inside of Colander, but Nicholas, who's shown his talent in these cars, as you said, Zippy, he is continuing to keep Nikatambayev behind him, but a little bit wide there coming out of the last corner. There's a bit more spray on the circuit as well. I think we've got a full wet track just about. No, not full wet, but wetter than it was, so that's going to make things a little bit more slip and slidey.
Yeah, I was definitely starting to have the same thought right now, watching a couple of these guys. If they were a 4-legged dog, bear with me, by Wyatt. If they were a 4-legged dog, oh, by Mike.
By Michael.
Yeah. that was beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. We just had the Olympics from. Here you go, Formula 1600 choreography. If these guys were, bear with me on this, it's a slow burn, all right? If it was, well, put the slow burn on hold. Reese, this is your bet.
Yeah. Oh, Muniz! Oh, he's going to get T-boned by one of the Lima cars there. The championship leader is damaged. I think this has just given the championship to Clay Morris.
Man down, man down. We need a medic for the 295.
Oh no, trying to go for the lead 3 wide with Cedric O'Hyan and Roger Sieber. Was this contact? It looks like he might have, just a little rub there off Roger Sieber's front right. And that's all it took. And have a look at that. That's what gave him the meatball there. That's Brady Clapham going right into him. No time to react. And an incredible championship run from Manise, I think, coming to an end. Morris, all he has to do is finish now.
Oh, there you go. It's a good job I marked the stream for adults, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that was a little colourful. But right now, we have 4 cars serving a meatball flag. Broomhead taken to the grass again. Don't get me wrong, he's illegal. Oh, no! What was that?
Oh, dearie me.
Buddy. That smelled like single monitor rejoin. That's what that smelled like.
Yeah. Oh dear, it's all going wrong here in race 3. Now it's Clapham's turn to get into the grass as Morris moves into second place. Paul Casamajor has just towed as well. This has been a chaotic third race, and it's all due to that extra moisture on the track, I think. Oh, again.
I have a feeling if I hadn't... You see, we had conditions like this before, and I was good until I wasn't, and that's a damaged car becoming a more damaged car than the 994. That is indeed Paul Casamajor. I feel for the guy. Definitely, he's not had the best of luck, certainly. At this point, I do wonder if I would have the skill set to be our podium in this race. But what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, up 8 positions on the day is Clay Morris. Roger Sieber currently in the lead, and a black flag to be served by Brady Clapham as well. But what I did notice as well, that incident with Christian Manise, the left rear of an Assad Nakadambev's car did catch that nose cone as well. I do have to wonder if he's got some damage to contend with as well.
Yeah, it looked like a tiny hit, but and I think we're going to have to wait another couple of laps to see what Nakadambev's full pace is. But regardless, I mean, Clay Morris has gotten out of all of this, avoiding all of the drama, and as long as he finishes in this position, he's got it. He's got the championship. One hand on the trophy at the moment. Just needs to hold on.
It's definitely a wet hand, but I'm going to try for probably the 3rd time now to get my point across. So, if these drivers were of the K9 variety, watch them go around a couple of these corners, it almost feels like they're a little bit of a Jack Russell, and you can see all 4 paws just trying to scramble and find some grip that just isn't there. The rain certainly, I mean, they could have lapped the track in butter. I'd probably still want to eat it, but it's proven to be a challenging set of circumstances here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, you can see how little steering input Morris is actually performing at the moment. It's like watching an old school R-Factor 1 replay where the wheel doesn't move at all. Just barely creeping on there. It's such a twitchy car on such a wet track. Now Benvalid goes for the fastest lap, and Nakadambev gets the fastest lap in return. So that's going to be an extra point in hand for Assad, but Morris has bigger things to worry about at the moment, like keeping his car straight. My goodness, he's slithering all over the place.
Yeah, the 1600s, certainly in iRacing, do not have wet tyres. It is one tyre fits all. And indeed, I believe it's not fitting this quite as well as a couple of drivers with the hoses. Honestly, this is prime fun racing conditions as long as you prepare for it. But let's have a look back here for P4, because it looks like Nicholas Hollander trying to challenge Assad Nakadambev for P4.
Yeah, well, Nakadambev has been in front for the last lap or so, but Nicholas has certainly been keeping him honest. It looks like the pass was only recently made as well. Check out Hollander's last lap, a 1 minute 45. Nakadambev's fastest lap that he just said, a 1 minute 40.5. So looks like Nicholas is having a bit of trouble keeping the car straight himself, as Wyatt Cormier is coming up behind him now. Despite seeing him spin just a couple of laps ago, it appears Wyatt's making a heck of a recovery.
Yeah, Nicholas definitely going on the more frugal side with the inputs, and you gotta say fair play to him. It's working so far. He's up there in P5, potentially going to be P6 in just a moment. Richard Swindell, his famous catchphrase, he may not be fast, but he makes it last. And you see there, Collender just trying to hold on to the wheel at this point. Indeed, these cars are going to be more of a bathtub by the time they're done.
Absolutely. Who gets the fastest lap now? It's Benvalid again. And I tell you what, when we were talking about John, he's having a great race at the moment. I don't want to curse him, but it's been yeah. Look. What's the closest thing to wood around me? Paper, touching paper. Bendeled's had a great run so far. I hope it continues. He currently sits on the overall podium, which he hasn't visited all that many times this season.
Yeah, certainly Bendeled definitely he's a BIS regular. Indeed, he's a Lima Racing driver as well, and I believe he works on the car. He's a very, very talented individual. Indeed, he's a good man as well. And certainly, it's good to see him up in B3s. The BIS Radical Canada Cup has got nothing but more competitive as well. It's like when we first started that, I managed to get a podium at one race. Yeah, that's never going to happen now. And certainly the 1600s, it's definitely still growing. And indeed, guys, certainly next season, I'm hoping we've got this again next season, but we want to see even more of you coming out here. Resignate, you're in the chat. I expect to see you here. I already know we're going to have Mike Becko's son. He's going to be coming out as well. As Mike Broom has decided, I'm out, and he's going to go into tens of points.
Yeah, good idea. Because all of my napkin math that I did beforehand, yeah, well played. My napkin math has just gone completely out of the window with Christian Menezes' crash. He spent 4 minutes in the pits and is back out on track, but Menezes down in P12. So it looks like, all things being the same, the Pro Class Championship is going to go to Clay Morris, who's just moved to the lead of the race, passing Roger Siebert. And looks like Asad Nakatambayev is bringing the pace down as the track dries. Lima car spinning in the background there. I think that might have been Clapham. Yeah.
Yeah, and he got disqualified. He hit the incident point limit. Oh dear.
Not ideal. That was a loss of control 2x, which put him over at the incident limit. So he is the lead at the moment. Roger Siebert chasing down Clay Morris as he jets away here, and John Bendelid not too far behind. Siebert's last lap about 2.5 seconds slower than Morris and Bendelid could manage. So Roger in the short term seems to be the one in trouble.
Yeah, certainly Bendelid, definitely do not discount him for pace, but passing here, especially in a wet track, the rules kind of change a little bit in terms of the actual rules themselves. They don't, but certainly how the car's going to behave definitely starts to mix it up a little bit there. As boy, Cedric O'Hyan setting the fastest lap now, the master driver himself.
Yes, this drying track is bringing the pace down quite a ways. So as the track continues to have that water flung off it, we're going to be seeing the drivers go ever faster. You're seeing traces of a dry line starting to form as well, with 4 laps remaining in the final race of the season. And what a season it has been. But definitely not short on drama. Nakatambayev gets the fastest lap back, 138.8.
Yeah, boy, certainly Nakatambayev definitely, again, he's that real-world experience. He's had to drive in the rain before. Certainly, thinking of rain, I bet you can think about the particular driver who I would have loved to have seen in this scenario. Certainly, we've seen him here on the ARA. Who am I thinking of, Reese?
I was drinking. I wasn't listening. Sorry.
Wow. Getting buzzed during the show, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, we expect higher standards. I know he's drinking coffee, but besides the point, I'm going to roast him anyway. More than the coffee beans, but certainly Kevin Adrian being the driver I'm thinking of. Certainly, when it comes to wet conditions, he is incredibly potent. Indeed, an absolute machine in the rain. And certainly, these drivers as well, I had to pick especially out of the field here. I don't know if I'd be able to pick one driver who particularly excels indifferently, in the rain. Certainly, we've got some guys who are definitely competent, but thinking of the BIS drivers, I'd say probably Ozzy Milwain would be probably the name that would spring to mind.
Yeah, we don't have enough wet races in BIS for my money. I'd like a few more so that we can get a real measure on who is the best in these conditions. But yes, while the drivers are trying to get water off the track, I was trying to get water into myself, and I was focusing a little bit too much on that. Missing your question, Zippy. I do apologise. Forgive me, Father.
For you have sinned. Certainly, water, also known as Bud Coors Light. Sorry, nothing against Bud, but Coors Light. water indeed, as right now Roger Sieber, I don't care, I wear somebody's bear. You can see right now though Roger Sieber has been very much applying the pressure here, but Bemblin, he's got him dead to rights at this point, and he's certainly trying to pull away here by about 4/10 of a second, but I don't know if he's going to be able to break the draft. Indeed, Clay Morris currently about a second and a half ahead.
Yeah, but looking at the lap times, Ben Verlinde was 0.2 quicker than Morris on the previous lap. So it looks like there is still plenty of pace in that number 8. However, 2.5 laps remaining. So considering it's a 1.8 second gap, I don't think it's a high chance of Ben Verlinde getting the move done for the lead, but he really is enjoying these ever-improving conditions. He's looking fast and comfortable, but wouldn't it be great for Morris to cap off the championship with a win? At the moment, he is in the box seat for that, just needs to survive another 2 laps of this brutal circuit.
Reese Gardner there flexing the commentator's curse. We'll have to see if indeed that wand is loaded, but certainly right now, John Bemblin there. You see a little bit of traffic ahead as well. Who's that now?
Good question. Well, the car ahead of them there is Morris, and that's Morris. It's not traffic ahead. That's the leader. They will come up on some traffic in a second, though.
Yeah.
O'Hyan's just spun out of turn 1, and he's getting back up to speed. You'll see him, he just disappeared around Druids there, but they will come up to O'Hyan pretty soon.
Yeah, certainly, this track being one of the smaller ones, well, I say smaller ones, it's one where you do see lapping quite frequently. It actually also has a rallycross track here as well. Certainly, actually, we'll do a shout out for that. We would love to see some rallycross here on Pit Road Productions, so if you are a Dirt League, leave a comment on there. Let us know, contact me on Discord, or send an email to, honestly, you can pick whatever email address you like as long as it's at pitroadproductions.com. Have some fun with that. I will enjoy it no matter what you send, but they should all get directed to me anyway. Certainly have a feeling Reese Gardner may play with that. Christian Hill has definitely got a grin like a Cheshire cat. He would 100% play with that, but certainly you can't hear him laughing, but I can promise you he is. Certainly have some fun with that indeed. If you're looking to get a broadcast done, we'd love to have you here on the channel as well. But Dirt Road, definitely something we'd like to see here on Pit Road.
Yeah, indeed. Brands Hatch has a rallycross layout in iRacing. Doesn't quite reflect the real-life rallycross layout at this venue, but close enough. It's a really underrated discipline. The drivers are certainly exercising their rallycross muscles here as they try their best to keep the cars straight around this wet track. Now that Moniz is back out on the circuit, he's wasted no time setting some fast pace here, but at best he can only hope to gain 1 point back in this race. Unfortunately, a bit too far down now as the final lap begins. Our leader is Clay Morris, and in the box seat to take the championship with this win, Ben Verlinde still battling with Roger Sieber. Asad Nikanabayev, meanwhile, is making tracks on these 2 cars on screen. Set a 1 minute 37.6 on the last lap. That will play mid-38s for Ben Verlinde and Sieber.
Yeah, it's about 0.6 of a second quicker, but I do think it's just a little bit too late there. Certainly finishing off the podium as well. He's up overall. Actually, Clay Morris a hard charge. He's up 9, but let's give a recognition here for Wyatt Cormier in the 57. He's managed to make it up 8 positions in the rain, despite having a little bit of an incident. He's still done that, so fair play to him. I'd say that's probably his best result actually of the season so far.
Yeah, I think it will be. Cormier has been quite strong in these conditions despite his spin. Well, last few corners coming up, and a little bit of a slide for Sieber there. That may bring Nikanabayev into the fold for the second place battle, but it is the lead that we should be focusing on here, because not only is this going to be 3 wins from 3 races for Clay Morris, it is going to be the championship. He was on the back foot coming into this round. He needed Moniz to have trouble, and he did. And so the number 48 of Clay Morris, BIS F3 champion, and now BIS F1600 champion as well, potentially. We'll need to check fastest laps after this, says Mike Broomhead. We'll keep the results unofficial at the flag, but it is close. Clay Morris could have just taken the championship out from under Christian Menez's nose, but we'll have to wait for full confirmation of the results first.
Hold the phone. This just got more interesting. That's Richard Swindell's. And I actually know whose face that is on the side of the car there. Number 16, Reese Gardner. It is your face. Certainly, he tried putting mine, and he ended up getting taken out. You were much more good luck, bro. In some leagues, that would be frowned upon. But certainly, these guys have known each other for a while. At least I hope it was amicable. But certainly, Swindell's having a little bit of fun to blow off the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And my face has been on his car for as long as I can remember. Anyway, I think I did see your face on it a couple of times in the past. But as you said, I do seem to be his good luck charm. So we'll wait now for Cedric O'Hyan and Christian Menez to come across the line, and that will be our race results just about ready to go off. We're still waiting on two cars to, well, no, not two cars, just one. O'Hyan coming out of Clark now. Menez with the fastest lap in this final race, but Morris got the fastest lap in the other two races, so that's another small advantage there for Clay. Regardless, time for the race 3 results. Clay Morris from 10th to 1st. John Benvalid and Roger Sieber are your final podium of the season, with Asad Nakadambayed finishing in 4th place. Wyatt Cormier winning the AM class. Alex McLean, the newly crowned AM champion, coming home in 6th place. Nicholas Gollander in 7th, with Graham Lobban, Richard Swindells and Cedric O'Hyan rounding out your top 10. Christian Menez, an absolute disaster when he needed to have a good race here in race number 3. He'll finish in 11th, a lap down, and last car on the who actually saw the checkered flag properly. Brady Clapham in 12th, with Broomhead and Casamager both retiring from the race, Zippy. Well, we are waiting now to see exactly how the championship standings stack up, but for the moment, it looks like you've had a chance to catch up with John Benvalid.
Yeah, it's certainly always a pleasure to speak to the gentleman that is the driver of the number 8, Lima Racing's finest, John Benvalid. Certainly looked like you had a good battle there with Roger Sieber, able to adapt quite well to the wet conditions yourself. How do you feel about things when it gets starting to get a little bit slippery here?
It's a lot of fun. How's it going, guys? It's a lot of fun out there. You know, you always adapt every lap. You're trying to take everything in, but to be honest, you're watching Clay ahead of you, and it's a little depressing.
He means that in good spirit. Certainly, I get the feeling. Clay Morris is an absolute machine behind the wheel. Indeed, John, you are incredibly potent as well. I've had the pleasure of racing us alongside you before you got even faster than you are now. And certainly, it's definitely not somebody to be taken lightly. And indeed, not only that, John, you got a P2 in the final race as well. But certainly, Lima Racing, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys have got planned for this season?
For sure. Yeah, no, Lima's going to be back in the Radical Series. Cedric, myself, and a few other newcomers that'll be announced soon. But yeah, look out for us. Make sure that you come out to all 5 races. We'll be there. Big hospitality, and we'd love to have anyone from this series or any fans out there come out and support for sure.
Well, certainly, I'm gonna chime in here. If you know how Instagram works, congratulations, you're definitely ahead of me. I'm definitely still learning on that. But Lima_racing_official, I believe, is the. I'm pretty sure that's the Instagram handle thing. It's the underscores, not dashes, isn't it? Certainly. Again, I'm an old man, and I can't work Instagram, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And certainly, I actually enjoyed watching it. You put up something funny the other day. And indeed, you put up something with the Pit Road Productions logo on it as well, because it's on the cards, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, I'm going to be out there at Motorsport for Victoria Day Speed Fest. John, I'm assuming you're going to be there. Cedric's going to be there. I may even crash in the same hotel as you guys, so we can definitely get kicked out of that. That'll be good fun. But and I also understand GP3R will be on that schedule as well. Certainly, I do plan on trying to make it out to that. But John, I got to say, a day that got better and better. You started round 1 and 13th, round 2 you're in 6th, and then finishing in P2. Definitely a good season so far. I'm imagining we're going to be seeing you back for the Radical Cup Canada for next season.
Absolutely. No, 100%. We'll that will definitely be out. This series is so much fun. To be honest, the 1600s in the sim, there's nothing in comparison. They're the most fun to drive, so I can't wait to do again next season. This was a super fun season. We can't thank Mike enough for putting it on. And even though I know the weather sometimes doesn't do what he wants it to do, it's still a lot of fun out here.
Well, certainly, I'm inclined to agree with that. 1600, incredibly fun car to slow around. But we will, as the Lima Racing representative in the booth, we're going to thank you as well for all that you do for Pit Road Productions, indeed for BIS as well, and indeed for the Radical Cup Canada Series with FEL Motorsports, because the Lima Racing providing the car that these guys will get to drive. So a huge thank you for that, and also for the Lima Racing care package as well. I do have a very, very cool hat to wear that says Lima all over it, amongst other goodies as well. Definitely a very pleasant surprise. You guys blew me away with that. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and indeed set off your air horns for the driver of the number 8 for Lima Racing. It's John Benvelid.
Thank you guys. Really
I think I got pretty close, honestly.
That was very good. That was very good. No, thank you guys for everything what you guys do. And I appreciate it.
Brilliant stuff, John. Yeah. Thanks very much. Well, a second place in the final race for John Benvelid. Great way to end off the season. Who should we talk to next? I reckon we can bring Christian Muniz in to have a chat here. Championship leader coming into this round, Christian. Unfortunately, that race 3 incident might have cost you it, but still a great final event for you and some great clean battling between you, Assad, and Clay. A lot to take out of this one.
Yeah, I was just here for a good time. The whole championship, the series, everything. The competition was some of the best. Like I said to the drivers before we started the race, like this was my favorite series to race. Always a good time. Such close racing. I'm sad it's coming to an end. You know what I mean? And coming into the weekend, like I think I checked like during qualifying what the gap was to Clay, because like I was just here for a good time. Like I said, I wasn't really paying much attention to the championship, but knowing how it ends, it is what it is, though. It's racing. I've had this happen many times in the past, and I've been in Clay's position many times in the past. So really happy for him. Looking forward to seeing him in F1600, seeing how fast he can go. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, excellent stuff. I mean, the varying conditions over the course of the season, the various tracks we were racing at, really a good spread of circuits here that have been that have really produced some exciting racing all through the season. It's probably going to be another probably 8 or 9 months or so before we get started for the next F1600 season. But are there any other BIS competitions you're interested in running? We do have the IndyCar Championship coming up.
Yeah, I'll be looking into that with my real life F1600 schedule. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see. We've got a lot of probably entering the Porsche Esports North America coming up soon, so that'll be one to look out for. And then as well, whatever I can race in, get my butt in, it'll be a good time.
Excellent stuff. Well, congratulations on all your fantastic performances throughout the season, despite provisionally, it seems, not taking the driver's title. Still one of the strongest season performances I've seen in a while, Christian. So wear that on your sleeve, and hopefully we're talking again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
All right. That is Christian Muniz there. Zippy, I understand you've caught up with Assad.
Yeah, Assad Bayev. I just want to make an extra point of doing that. Yeah, we already crucified you on stream for giving us 2 years of getting your name completely wrong. But certainly, Assad, definitely, you had it almost. You had your hand on the car. And it was like watching Mr. Beast or something. And you just said, you know what? You had a lapse of concentration, ended up coming together with Clay Morris. And definitely, it's easily done. It's close quarters, but tell us a little bit about how your feelings have been throughout the season. It's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster for you, and indeed, there's been some highs and lows. But tell us a bit about your experience overall.
Well, the racing has been insanely good. Like I loved it, the entire championship. Like the last few years, since we've started F1600, it's been probably one of the best, or the best racing league, or the best racing series I've done. A racing league series. Like the amount of racing in this championship there was, And just the amount of cars, especially at the start of the season, like Road Atlanta, we had like 35 cars, something like that. It was insane. Racing was amazing, and just the fights that everyone gave was really mature and it was really clean, and I really enjoyed that.
I gotta say, I'm going to agree with you on that, Assad. Certainly, as a real world driver as well, I was watching you on the SCCA YouTube page, and I didn't get to see your race win, I got to be honest, but you are going to have a chance to tell us all about it. You give us a quick cliff notes. Well, we've got time while we're waiting for the results from the courtesy of Mike Broomhead, the official results. This is your chance. We're going to give you the opportunity here to absolutely promote Assad Nakanabev, your racing success. Certainly, I did get to watch you go against 2 previous champions, and you got a P2 in that. And certainly, I was cheering for you. Like, Formula One is nice, but I was cheering for you much louder. Indeed, if somebody looked through my window, they may have been concerned about the ecstatic movements and indeed the war cries I was making, trying to egg you on. You could have heard me from there if you didn't have a helmet on. But Assad, tell us a little bit about what you got up to this weekend at Button Willow.
Well, so practice didn't go super well. I managed to do only 3 out of the 5 sessions fully. Had some incidents, but everything was fine at the end of the day. The car was still fine. We managed to fix it. Going into Saturday, I qualified P2, I believe. Yeah, P2. And I had a good race. Then I managed to have a horrible start, and then after that, I managed to get my pace back up again. I caught the two champions, and I was racing with them, and I managed to pass them both and finish P2 in the final in that race. And then on Sunday, qualify P1 by like 2/10. It was pretty cool. And then into that final race, I was passed in turn 1. I was P2 the entire time until the last 3-4 laps. I made a move, and then I pulled away, and I managed to win. So quite good.
A boy, definitely somebody who I'm always happy to hear that you're doing well. It makes me smile, and I'm so proud of you for what you do. So your mum was in the YouTube chat. It got a little emotional, but we're both really proud for you, and certainly as well, you recognise just how fortunate you are. By all means, this is your time as well. Just, if you got people you need to thank, get it out there. Send this clip to your mum if she's not watching already.
Yeah, my entire family's watching in the living room, so they all see this.
Hi.
Yeah. 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 No, I would like to thank my sponsors, 4-5 Motorsports and Performance Racing School, and I would like to thank all my team, my friends, my family, everyone, Flat Out Racing, like just everyone. Yeah, and you guys too. Can't forget about you guys. Pit Road Productions. My goodness, you guys, since the first live stream that you did to this live stream, it's like comparing 1970s broadcasts to 2025 broadcasts. Like, it's insane the growth they've done, and probably above and beyond. It's really nicely done. Like, the live streams, they're just lovely to watch. I love them, and I really appreciate you guys. And Mike.
Yep. Mike, definitely a crucial part. And indeed, thank you very much, Assad. Indeed, you're talking about growth. We're seeing you grow over these couple of years. You're definitely becoming this young, hot-headed lad, and we are seeing you mature. Your racecraft is noticeably improving, and as a result, you're getting better results. But Assad, we're going to have to let you go for now. The results have just come in, but if you want, just mute your mute your mic, hang out in the booth. It's fine. Well, mute mine too, but by all means, come on in, and we're going to get these results away. But ladies and gentlemen, definitely keep an eye on this name in the future. I expect to see him driving in the likes of IMSA. Formula 1 would be nice. Formula E, if he can handle doing that. Expect to see this man on the screen. He's potent, and indeed, I'll be cheering for you the whole way. Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 230 car, Assad Nakanabev.
Yeah, fantastic performances throughout the season indeed. And, I think it's an appropriate time to bring Clay Morris into the fold, because we do have those final points in at the moment. We'll show them officially on stream in a very short bit. But, Clay, it looks like you are champion by a single point. How does that feel?
Yeah, I can't believe it, Reese. I had hope, but not that much hope going into this round, and everything kind of went just right. I think the only blemish on it was that it wasn't completely clean racing in the last race. There were some small incident, some net code that looked very unfortunate that took Christian out of the race. But I'm very happy with how the season went, and I'm very, very, very glad I'm champion. I'm happy.
Yeah, as you should be. Already a BIS champion when we ran the Formula 3 series last year, but it was tough going up against the likes of Christian Muniz and Asad Nakadambayev. Those guys really gave you a run for your money. It seemed like every single round you guys were slicing and dicing for the podium positions.
It was such close racing every single round. I don't think there was a round where it wasn't at least the three of us, and in many rounds others right in the top, with nothing guaranteed until the feet before the line, right? It was always like Christian's consistently was absurd. I'm pretty sure he dropped 2 or 3 podiums in his drop rounds. And Assad's racing was just, his defense is always incredible and always very, very difficult to get around and very, very difficult to keep behind.
Mike Broomhead has just notified us that with this championship, you are the first 2-time BIS champion. That's quite the honor, I think.
I honestly am very surprised by that, but I definitely won't be the only one going into next week, I would think. But
yeah, I think Racine Fazoui is going to be getting the Radical Championship next week for sure, so you won't be alone for long.
Yeah, he does. I'm going to try. I think I'm still mathematically in it for the Radicals, but he's such a solid driver, there would have to be something crazy happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't manifest that, Zippy. Well, regardless, Clay, just an incredible performance this season. I'm really happy to see you take it. It is a shame that Muniz had issues in race 3. It could have been a little bit closer, but ultimately it was that poor result for Muniz in race 3 that helped you get this, and consistency as well. I mean, you led 5 laps in race 2 alone, trading places with Assad all the way through. So enjoy this and enjoy the test drive in the Britain West Motorsports car that you'll have coming up for you very soon.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And I just have to thank you guys, as always, putting on such a good show. Thank Mike for putting on the series. And yeah, thanks to Britain West for kind of putting up the prize. And like always, thanks to Wera and Robert Burgess for putting up my entry for the series and making it so I can run it. Great opportunity, great series. I had such a blast, and I'm looking forward to the warm season. Drive a circuit car for the first time.
Absolutely. It's going to be a huge year for you, Clay, and it starts here. Thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully we're talking again soon.
Thank you, Reese.
So that's our champion, Clay Morris there, Zippy. And I believe the last driver we'll have time to talk to in this broadcast. But man, what a season we've had. I'm very happy with how all of this went down. Still a good dose of drama in the final round from a broadcast perspective. I think this last round went as perfectly as it could have.
Honestly, it couldn't have gone much better. Certainly coming to a last round, obviously, throughout any season, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. You see that, participation starts to dwindle a little bit, but you know what? The racecraft never stopped. Assad said it absolutely perfectly. So did Clay as well. Both of these guys nailing it on the head. The racing was incredible. We had a 3-way fight with a thousandth of a second in it. Like, how many race series do you get that? Well, you get it here at BIS, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, on Pit Road Productions. I've got to say as well, huge love to all of these drivers, to yourself, I guess to Christian as well. We like Christian. We'll give him we'll cut him some slack. We love him too. But certainly, not only that, to the people in the YouTube chat as well. Like, honestly, just you guys being there, it makes all of the difference. And it's one of the things that, Assad, you got to get yourself to Motorsport, by the way. Yes, he actually did it. That's why he's showing me. Ladies and gentlemen, turn around and face your camera. Christian, turn around. Come on. Bow for the camera. Do something, quite elegant. It'd be great to add a boy. There you go, the man. And look at how many screens he's got to do. Stereotypically, are we known for being good multitaskers? That's the question that we are indeed proving wrong on many occasions. But that guy, you couldn't hear him, but he was laughing. But certainly, again, the guys in the YouTube chat as well, absolutely a huge thanks to you. It makes a difference, certainly to me. I love knowing that you're there, and I appreciate it. And certainly to the drivers as well. we get real race drivers come in. They've already, got to that point in their motorsport journey. And you know what? We cheer for them as well. But to see people who go from the start, they get into a championship such as BIS. I mean, I don't know anybody else who does this opportunity. We are one of few, ladies and gentlemen. So Gran Turismo used to do it years ago, and then you're going against the entire globe. Like, good luck with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you win, fair play to you. But we make this opportunity, certainly well, Mike makes this opportunity. We just have the pleasure of broadcasting it, and it gives so much opportunities. Clay, I'm over the moon you get to go in a car, and I'm looking forward to hearing how you do. I want to hear how you stack up compared to someone who's been driving it for a while, because I have a feeling it's going to be incredibly close. Certainly Assad as well. We've watched you develop from go-karts to a spec racer Ford. And indeed as well, like half the field in BIS at times is real race drivers. And indeed, that list is expanding. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm just so thankful to all of you. And I cheer for all of you as well. And so I'm going to say Breeze probably does as well, certainly. And whenever you guys have got real racing going on as well, by all means, hit up in the Pit Road Productions chat. You can use an everyone tag. It's fine. We want to hear about you guys doing well. We want to hear, if it doesn't go well, it's fine. Learn from it. But we'll be cheering for you every step of the way.
Yeah, we certainly will. Don't forget as well, if you're interested in taking part in a BIS competition, we are taking a couple of weeks break, but Mike Broomhead and company will be putting on the next season of the BIS IndyCar Championship. That's going to be started towards the end of March. QR code up on the screen right now. Get your phone out and scan it, and that will take you straight to the BIS Sim League's Discord. So make sure that you get in on that. The IndyCar Championship is always a fun time for everybody. It was the first BIS league that I was involved with full time here on Pit Road Productions. So it's good to see it coming back. Let's see who joins us for this upcoming season, Zippy. Some very stiff competition.
Certainly, the biggest question I have is, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you have an IndyCar and you feel like lending it to us, by all means, write to us. I can't believe this is happening at pitroadproductions.com. Myself, I'm definitely not an IndyCar expert. Romain Grosjean, if you would like to lend us an IndyCar, I will get a Belgian flag tattooed on a cheek of my body that's not my face in the support of your contribution there, if you can make that happen. How about that?
Isn't Grosjean French?
In which case, he might not be happy with that offer I just made. But
yeah, I think you've just lost the opportunity there, Zippy.
Well, that's all right. We'll pick a different driver. IndyCar, big field. But certainly, if you have an IndyCar and you'd like to let us borrow it, and indeed, scout yourself a potential new driver of talent. Just look at the talent we've got here in BIS. And indeed, in one half of the commentary booth, that's not me. By all means, we'd love to borrow it. Certainly, we'd love to see that. But I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, if we can get a drum roll together, please. I think we got the final results here. Attaboy.
Roll the tape. So there we are. Your final championship standings, Clay Morris by a single point over Christian Muniz at the end of the season. Asad Nakadabayev rounding out our top three. Broomhead and Benvalid rounding out our top five. The second place finish that Benvalid has to his name certainly helping him there. Man, the Pro Championship really did come down to the wire, didn't it, Zippy?
It is nail-bitingly close. And don't get me wrong, Christian Muniz, a real-world Formula 1600 driver. While I sympathise for him, I'm glad that Clay Morris got that win. Not only that, but PRP Britannia as well. Cheering for the home crowd. My apologies. Got to do that.
Speaking of PRP Britannia, I was 14th. Sorry, I just noticed.
Even I beat you, Reese. Oh wait a minute, you're in pro. I'm not in pro. I will attest though. I did few races, but I did get some podiums, so I will take that. But ladies and gentlemen, the AM Championship. Look at that. Alex McLean absolutely runs away with it by 50 points. Richard Swindell's for blah, blah, blah racing. Indeed, with Reese Gardner on the cowling for that, he takes a tidy third place. That's definitely nothing to shake a stick at. Wyatt Cormier in fourth, and indeed Nicholas Collender in fifth. Definitely his best result as well. Looking down through the order, though, definitely a few people who only made it some occasional appearances. I would want it in the team championship, though. That's the one I'm really looking forward to, because... Yes! There we go. I'm not good at this, but... Modest face.
Don't worry, we can't see your face right now unless Christian puts up the cams. But, Lima Racing ultimately keeping themselves ahead of Rust Racing Iron in the end. That's a very well-earned second place in the team's championship for Lima. Well, Lima and Rust Racing making quite a few appearances there in the top 10. Asad Nakatambayev Racing, which has mostly just been Asad Nakatambayev for most of the season. 8th place in the team standings. So that's quite an impressive run there.
Absolutely, indeed. You know, running solo, fair play to him. I have a feeling we may have to recruit him for PRP Britannia next season as well. Certainly, Clay Morris, we already got him in the roster. Let's try and steal the 230 as well. But I got to say, I'm actually sad at this point to bring the show to a close. It's been amazing, and again, a huge thank you to Mike Broomhead for making all the effort to organise this. He really is. He puts a lot of work into it, and indeed, sometimes, you know, we see it sometimes, you know, this league, BIS as well, it's not just a league, it's a community as well. There's a lot of people cheering for each other. And indeed, you know, there's a lot of good people out there. And certainly, if you want to meet some people from BIS, Asad, Clay, I'm expecting you guys to be here for this. We're going to be heading over to Victoria Day Speedfest at Motorsport in May. It's going on, I think, the 17th, 18th of May. It's that weekend. Forgive me for not getting the dates exactly right. I still need to book the flight. But certainly, I do know that I'm going to be there. Clay Morris, I'm hoping you're going to be there. Sadek going to be there. But Lima Racing is definitely going to be there. Connor Bell, you're familiar with watching him on Pit Road Productions. He's going to be there. And indeed, we might find a few familiar faces as well. Certainly, Mike Broomhead is going to be there as well. And if he's not, we're just going to go pick him up, drag him there, and, you know, we'll make sure he gets there. But certainly, ladies and gentlemen, again, always a pleasure. And thank you very much for watching. We're going to see you again next season. Sorry, right, I thought Reese was going to say.
Lately, we haven't been doing as much. It hasn't been easy. We're ready to get back out there.
Living life a day at a time.
Toyo tires will be there,
Take a ride.
taking you where you want to go.
Feeling free, happy and strong. On the road where we belong.
Toyo tires, making tires for your road.
On the road where we belong.